Hi. Shark Tales
Woo.
with Tired and Tireder.
Yeah, night, guys.
Which one's tired and which one's tireder?
I'm going to say I'm tireder. Am I tired?
Yes, I'm tired. You're tireder.
It's been a long summer for me.
Really?
I'm dragging
Think so?
ass. Yeah.
You think that's what it is? The
it's
whole
just
season
been
is finally coming
accumulation.
down to the end.
Yeah. So I'm coming to Tulare to rest.
I wonder, like, are you looking forward to Trophy Cup? Like, when you come to Trophy Cup, like, what do you look forward to most? Is it the racing?
I just like being at the racetrack and not having to give a shit about myself. And just, and A, enjoying the racing, B, maybe helping you a little bit, whether I do or not, but I at least have some motivation.
Yep.
Like a carrot. Like, I wouldn't, like, I'm a little bored today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah. We watched Monday Night Football. Tonight, Monday Night Football game was the equivalent of Saturday night's Sprint Car Challenge Tour NARC race. It was a complete disaster. Just garbage game, just like our garbage race the other night.
Oh.
So that's what our show's about tonight, is combination races. You want to talk about that some
No, we
more?
already did that.
That's
No,
this
I
is
don't
not a
want to hear
rerun.
about that.
It's not a rerun.
Hey, we're on syndication. We're making the big bucks now. And what are we talking about? Because we want to go to bed.
Okay, so
I gotta look at Facebook to keep me awake.
Andy and Sean taking over as promoters at Marysville Raceway in 2026.
2026?
Yeah,
Is that next year?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years.
Is that a thing?
Are you still racing in 2 years?
Yeah, you know how much trouble Brad gets in for having his own series and racing?
Does he get in trouble? So, like, I don't know.
Everybody gets mad. They always
Really?
say that they...
Favoritism and
Yeah,
all
you
that
can't
stuff?
race your own series. So, yeah, I think that probably will happen. Me and Sean will be promoters at Marysville in 2 years. We're going to make every night $10,000 to win, $1,000 to start, and every night's going to be $1 a night and free giveaways every night. So, I mean, that's everybody says that's what we need to do. We're going to do it.
Okay.
Are
So it'll
you
be-
one of the giveaways?
Yeah, I mean, if there's some hot mom who wants me, sure. Win a date with me. That's the solution, right? Everybody says,
so
hey, you know,
we'll
if they
become
do
promoters.
$1 a night and they just make all their money in hot dogs.
Yeah, we'll become promoters and just do every suggestion that all the fans know will work.
Yeah.
And then we'll become millionaires.
We'll see how successful it is.
Yeah.
No racer should be mad. Oh, we'll also pay at the end of the races.
Because that matters.
No, if you want to, though. Like,
Make a big deal about wanting to get paid at the end of the night, but then don't come and get your check.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys heard my idea with that, right?
No.
Everybody wants to get paid at the end of the night. And then what happened at Silver Dollar this year? There's a big chalkboard out there when you sign into the pit gate
Like
with
a
a whole bunch of
dozen
names
names.
on it of like, we still have checks from this season.
There was?
It
Yes.
wasn't even this season.
Oh.
It was like last
Cammy,
season.
Cammy said the same thing. She's got a ton of checks, like people didn't collect stuff. And I said, you know what then? If nobody wants their money, if you don't collect your money by the last points show, it gets donated back to the either the purse for the drivers or it just disappears and you don't get your check anymore.
I like the disappears. I'm all for whatever helps the promoters, so I say the promoters get to keep it.
Because if it's such a big deal,
Yeah.
either they didn't
I
fill
wonder
out their
how
tax
much
form,
money it is, though. Like,
but
I
is
can't
it like they
remember all
didn't
the
fill out their
names on
tax
it, but I
form?
wonder if it was like.
Where's this at?
Next to
At
last.
Chico?
They had a big chalkboard at the
Yeah.
pit gate, the
Say, all
last
these
at
names,
Fall
guys,
Nationals.
We have checks for you. We are not mailing them.
I
You
guess
need to pick them
I
up.
need to sign in at the booth one of these days so I can see what that chalkboard looks like.
Your name wasn't up there.
Well, I know, and
The person who writes the checks.
I get
Can
show up
bring
money,
yours
I
home.
get free pit passes, I get it all at every track. Just ask everybody.
Yeah. Because
You get
you're
preferential-
everybody's favorite.
Yes.
Pill draw, even when you're not even supposed to be in the pill draw.
Mhm.
Oh, Andy didn't make the dash today? Oh, look, let's just
Change
put
the
him in
rules.
there. Let's
Change
just
the
put him in
rules.
there.
Do you know what's my favorite thing to hear at a racetrack is like, he's always on the front row. How does that happen? It's like, well, like,
Your
do you
wife says
understand what happens throughout the night in order to get there? Like, it would be hard to like position yourself to the front row every single night.
I need to go over my stats this year because I do track, we've talked about this, I do track my pill draws and it always averages
You will
out.
track out? Okay.
Oh yeah, so like when I put down, I always keep track of where we raced, how many laps are on the motor, what quick qualifier, where I start in the heat, where I finish in the heat, where I start in A, where I finish in
Okay,
A.
you just
So-
said after the last race, like nobody's taking notes anymore.
No, I gotta
But
track.
this is a different.
This is in the shop on the calendar. Yes,
Okay.
I gotta keep track because we count laps on our motors. That's how we keep track of how many races we have left on them, etc. etc. I do keep track of my pill draw just for my own fun,
Yeah.
and this year is gonna be a pretty high average, I will say.
Yeah.
Everybody always, I always pull the 7, I always pull the 8, but you know, there's a couple nights where you pull the 1 or the 2, and it averages out. This year hasn't been good.
Do you write a little asterisk like somebody else pulled this one?
No, I don't.
You should.
I should though, huh?
Yeah,
You should.
like because I think you have picked that 7 or 8 a lot.
It's been
more
a
than-
rough year.
more other people have picked for you.
But you know what? It doesn't matter where you start. Ask Hopkins. He starts at the back every week at Placerville and goes to the front somehow. Not me. I start in the middle and finish in the middle.
Middle.
Sean's been doing that a lot this year, starting in the back.
Okay, give us another question. Does
Okay.
anybody else have? Is that the only good question?
That's the only one. Let's go to bed.
And we made fun of it. We're not promoting. We're
I'm
just
not saying
joshing you.
old. I'm not saying like the good ones. I'm just gonna read all of them.
Oh, okay.
So Jim Dale said how every time I rode shotgun with Pace Truck Chuck at Chico, and Shark would ride up beside me on the pace lap and give a thumbs up that he would win.
Yeah, I used to. I still do that to people, and sometimes
I
it
like
still
s-
don't work.
I like screwing with the pace truck too,
Yeah.
because they typically have somebody riding with them. So I like to like really gas it up and then get right by their door.
And
and-
sometimes they freak out like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's
and
fun.
It's fun to do.
I
So-
hit the pace jeep one night at Placerville though. I actually did. I bumped into him.
On accident.
Yeah,
Who?
Morgan.
Oh God!
This wasn't days.
Didn't you break his window or something? Someone broke a window, or I was on the radio one night. Someone like roosted it in front of him and
Oh,
broke the window, and
Probably
he
wasn't me. 'cause
lost his
I don't
shit.
do that.
Well, so it's tough whenever you get push started. Like sometimes, like it takes a long time to get going, and you kind of have to pump the throttle to get fuel in. And sometimes it just right when you hit the switch, it goes, and if your foot's on the throttle, like you take off. Like a lot of guys don't really mean to like spray the push trucks, but like yeah, that kind of stuff. I would imagine happens a lot.
Hey, we were parked next to each other in staging here Saturday for hot laps. I think. Did you see the push truck ram me?
No.
Oh, I thought maybe you would have noticed. Yeah, I think he was about 6 inches behind when the guy said go, and so he
Oh.
just went, and so he got 6 inches of momentum and then hit me.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Sometimes you will roost that guy, but I didn't. I was like, oh, whatever.
Okay, just not a question from Facebook, just me.
We don't want to answer your questions. We have to answer enough of your bullshit questions during the day. Next question.
Has a push truck ever ran over you before?
Yes.
Like, stopped you from being able to race?
Got a flat tire at Petaluma last year pushing off for the feature.
Last year?
From
Yes.
the pace truck.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said the push truck.
Or the
You
push
did
truck,
say
sorry.
push
The push
truck.
truck.
Oh,
Yeah,
push
yeah,
truck.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that was close.
I was close.
So yeah, that was part of my crazy year last year where if it was stupid, we figured out a way to do it. And yeah, we were all out on the track, you know, all 24 cars to get ready to push off. And they pushed me, he tried pushing me off, ran over the fuel tank, got on the left rear, popped the left rear. And I'm not sure if they red flagged the race to let me go in and fix it or if they just ran around while we fixed it, but they definitely gave me
you the
ample time to
and
fix
your
my
spot
car.
back.
Yeah.
Is that the
Let's
only
get
time
there.
it's happened?
What?
Is that the only time it's happened?
I feel like I've been run over before. I know my dad did one night at Calistoga, and he was pissed because the guy got. This is back in the day where we used to hand paint everything, so push truck destroyed the fuel tank, and the paint was all blown off. And I remember my dad getting out of the car.
That's never happened to me. I remember being in Oregon one night. Red flag. Brandon
Wimmer.
Wimmer was in a Roth car.
Yeah, beef packer car.
Yeah, and
Leading the race.
was he leading?
I'm pretty sure.
Mm,
Pretty sure.
okay, like you might know more than me, but yeah, like going to get push started, like didn't fire.
Like,
And, like-
monster trucked him.
Yeah, took a left or whatever, monster trucked, and like they were done. Like,
Yeah,
for
they
the
couldn't
night.
fix it.
Really?
Well, I bet they could have, but it was Roth team, so they were throwing a fit, and like, yeah, we had to deal with the fit happening. But like, I don't even think they pushed it to the work area. Like, they just went home. So I don't know if it was unfixable.
I feel like that was
feel
on the
like
way to
that's a
Dirt
team
Cup.
that could have fixed it. So it's hard for me to believe that he was leading and
I
they
swear he
weren't
was leading.
thrashing to get back out there. So
Were you at Chico? I feel like it was a Friday night show. I think this guy had an orange Jeep, and we had a red flag.
yeah,
And he pushed somebody off in the backstretch, and he kind of got off of him, and he launched off the right
Yes.
rear, and he slammed down, and it knocked him out, and the Jeep just kept coasting.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, and so like people were like running after because the Jeep was doing like 4 miles an hour at this point,
yeah.
and people were like running after him, trying to like
Oh,
get in the
Jesus.
Jeep. Yeah, so he bigfooted I don't remember who he bigfooted, but it went way up in the air and it came down and knocked him out.
So I remember something like that happening before where it got squirrely, jumped the guy, like the guy started, but he still like gassed it up and jumped the right rear, but it like broke the truck.
Uh-huh.
And he got out of the car and was throwing a fit and like pissed off at the guy he pushed off, but like he's the one that ran him over. So like it was a bizarre situation,
I don't
but
remember
like
that.
I don't know what it did to the truck, but like I think they had to like push it off the road. Like I don't know if it was undrivable, and then a lot of those vehicles are their daily drivers sometimes.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
so who knows? But yeah, that was the most bizarre thing I ever seen happen with that.
Sometimes I feel like the push truck drivers at Petaluma almost push you faster on the push-off lane than we go on the racetrack.
And usually there's no water, so you're just skidding.
The rear tires are not turning over, and I mean,
And
holy shit,
know-
slow
you know-
down!
you know if you have a veteran behind you, because sometimes they'll back off and then give you a little more gas and try to get you some weird momentum, but other ones that are just on the gas and you're going sideways.
And they think
you're
the fact
picking
that
up
you're
speed.
not, that you're not starting, that if they go faster, that'll
Right,
help the
right,
process. You don't need to go much faster than 10 miles an hour, and we'll start.
What do you do? Because like I always start and I'll stick my hand out and give them thumbs up.
I
Like I got
typically
it.
wave them off too.
Yeah. So I'll do that, but a lot of times, and it typically seems to be at Petaluma, like they'll hit me again, like they're keep pushing me, and I'm like, hey, I'm
I
good.
fired.
They think that they're gotta. He must be waving me to push him more.
Yeah. Oh, he wants faster.
Next question.
Tony Gomes said favorite win and why. I'm assuming like
Every
your
win that I beat
favorite
this
win.
guy was my favorite. All 200 of
There's
them.
got to be the most memorable.
Your most memorable one?
I mean, my first win was a big deal. That was cool because it took me 7 years to win my first race, so I was really trying for a long time.
It's funny because like my first like go-kart win, I don't remember that one.
Really?
Definitely remember my first sprint car win.
Where was your first sprint car win, Chico?
Oh yeah.
Friday Night 410 show?
Yeah, and it was a brand new JB chassis, John Boy.
JB Enterprise.
Yeah, and we had like a brand new paint scheme. I had a brand new fire suit. Like we were decked out and everything just
A
kind of worked
design
out. I think it was
500.
like
2003?
2002.
two.
02?
Yeah,
First year. Didn't take him 7 years.
Because he's good.
was.
I paid my dues. I sucked a lot.
Yeah.
And now it's come full circle.
That's your most memorable win as your first one?
No, it'd be my outlaw win.
Yeah.
for sure.
Your outlaw win? Is that your most memorable
Yes.
one?
Yes.
That
No.
never happened.
Your outlaw second place. That's a good
Second
one.
place, man.
What is your biggest win? Would it be in the wing sprint car, or like did you have a huge win running on wing?
I only won a couple non-wing races. I don't have any really big major wins. Fall Nationals, the Forney.
You've just won like big races multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, I won a NARC race from 17th one night.
Where at?
Hanford. Is that the night I passed
Was
you?
that the one I ran out
Yeah.
of gas?
Well, I won 2 races
You're
that
welcome,
year. at Hanford.
Andy.
I thought Tim won that night.
One was
he
no,
won
No,
Saturday
Tim
night.
was following me the whole
Yeah.
time, so I'm holding off Tim Kading. I think he was in a beat packer car, like
That was
Yeah.
03.
badass,
03.
and like he was trying everything to get by, couldn't, ran off the track because he was trying so hard, and this guy was in third. So, oh, cool, I'm gonna get second. Well, I did not know how to lean the fuel out under yellow, and it would stumble on restarts, and we did not have receivers then, so like Hanford's a long track, so I get on the backstretch and I'm trying to clean it out. Like every single lap, I'm cleaning the motor out.
Not knowing if we're going
Right,
green.
and the light, no, we're still going another lap. All right, I'll clean it out again. Ran out of fuel. Let this ding dong.
You didn't run out of fuel.
win.
You still finished.
Did finish.
He ran out of fuel. Yeah.
You were running out of fuel. There's a difference.
Oh, God.
On my way home from Hanford or Tulare Saturday, I didn't want to stop and fuel up, and I was trying to get home, and the meter kept going, 50 miles to go, 40 miles to go, and I mean it was dropping fast because I was hammered down. Finally, it got down to 5 miles to go. I had to get out and fuel the truck up in the intersection in Auburn. Almost ran out of diesel.
Oh, wow.
So what was my biggest win? I don't know. They're all equally cool. I like winning Calistoga. Those are always cool.
Yeah.
You won a big race at Calistoga.
Yeah, 15
Yeah, that was
grand.
a terrible night though.
We don't need to talk about that. 15 grand, that's the most money you ever made at one night?
Yes.
No. One says yes, one says no.
Yeah.
The outlaw was
Right
10.
away. Outlaw was 10.
Yeah,
And then-
Calistoga. You made, it was like 37 grand that month. You
Yeah.
won
That
it, yeah.
Calistoga race was 15 grand.
15 for that one, 10 for the outlaw, and then what else did you? Was it
I think
Fall
it was the
Nationals?
Fall Nationals that year.
Yeah, it was like
with
37
Minnie.
grand for
we
the month.
won 3 of the 4 races that year with Minnie in the Fall Nationals.
Back in the good old days.
Yeah.
Next question.
Ooh, who has better dance moves?
Me.
Andy,
I can break dance.
Dave Angus.
You can?
Yes.
I've never seen this.
Not per Angus. Your robot moves need to improve.
Well, my
More
robot
fun
moves
to
are
drive at Chico,
on
a 360 or a 410?
What's what?
More fun to drive at Chico.
I think 410s are funner to drive anywhere.
Funner's not a word.
Yeah.
It is tonight.
Anywhere?
Whatever I'm winning in, that's the most fun.
Well, this is the 360 King of California.
I know, I was going to say you won more
like
wins,
greatest
more
360 driver
360
in California of all time.
than anybody, right?
It's got to be.
Because Brent ran at 410.
Brent didn't mess around with 360s.
Who else would
Only
be
when
close to
Trophy
you?
Cup made him go to
Him?
360s.
Would
maybe.
be like the next.
Yeah.
How many 360 wins do you have, Sean?
Total? I don't know.
I'm like 170 to like 40, 170 360 wins to like 40 410 wins.
Are you that big of a difference with 360s and 410s?
Flip flop them.
I bet it's pretty even. I bet it's probably right in the middle, actually.
Because you.
It
won
wasn't
a
until COVID 2020 that I finally had more 360 starts than 410 starts. And that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But,
See, and I didn't give up, but I mean, I just picked the road of less resistance, which was more 360 racing for me. Once I quit racing for Flory and the Family Auto Service.
So it was a very interesting quote you did last night that I thought, like, when you said, man, yeah, you driving home, getting home at 4 in the morning and be like, yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I stopped running for a Family Auto Service. Like,
Yeah, it was
all
just
that
not
traveling.
fun.
And, like, to me, like, that was always
You're
that's just
watching.
part of it. Yeah.
That's funny.
I'm
Andy's a
watching.
ding dong.
I'm watching.
But like me driving 3.5 hours to race Hanford all by myself in the car, and then driving 3.5 hours back, like that was just kind of part of the deal. And like that, I think still to this point, like doesn't really bother me. But like you got burnt out doing it for a year.
2.5 years.
Two
I
and a
was
half
over
years?
it. Yeah. So yeah, I only ran 2 full years of NARC, and that was it. So, FUBAR on traveling. It was just, I would call people at Placerville on my way home, and they'd be like, "Oh man, track was great. You would have loved it. Where are you at?" And I'm like,
You had FOMO. That's
and
the
I'd be like,
problem.
"Oh, I'm just leaving Hanford. I'm 4 hours from home. Boy, I wish I was in Placerville right now."
See, this guy's a social body though. Like I'm an introvert, so like me just getting in the car, putting on my music, and just like running stuff through my head. Like, oh, I should have done this. So if I did this, I bet the race would have turned out this way. Like I could do that forever.
So you didn't mind the drive home where
No.
you would reenact the race?
Yeah, I almost like doing that.
If I could race in Auburn, I would race in Auburn. Candace. Who's calling her? I see a
Brian
question.
Cannon?
Is he texting me? How many left fronts did you guys flatten? How many front ends bent
with
up
the
on
grade?
the infield plate at turn 1 Impossible?
At least.
I saw quite a few at RMI. How many? Go ahead. How many did you?
I'm going to guess 4.
Guess how many I have?
A dozen.
None.
What?
Yes.
How's that possible?
Haven't I told you my trick? You lift your freaking left ass up, Chica. I have never popped a tire, and I've never bent a front end. Knock on wood, I'm not going to do it.
What about infield tire?
We never really ran around the tires at Placerville.
Not Placerville, just in general.
Oh, this question was Placerville.
Chico.
Oh, yeah, this was about the
Well,
the
that's
drain.
fine. I don't care about Placerville. I want to know about other places. Because, like, you can't see your left front, and sometimes the track's bone slick, and you're trying to get as far into the moisture as you can, and there's these stupid big-ass white tires, and you sometimes I feel like I'm a little close, and front end's gone.
I gotta say I've hit a Ute tire. I can't honestly give you a specific time. I do remember one night at Chico, Todd Carmichael. Remember Todd Carmichael?
Oh, yeah. He's
He-
a go-kart kid.
Yeah, and he came out in a family operation, the low buck special, and he was leading at Silver Dollar, and man, he just got off the bottom a little bit, and I got right there between him and the Ute tire, and he didn't pinch me. I mean, I just took a hole that wasn't quite wide enough, and I hit the Ute tire with the left side Nerf bar, and it spun me around,
wow.
and he ended up winning the race, and I think I did a 360. I might have ran second, but
Because there wasn't a caution for 360s back then.
I do remember running around a Ute tire at Chico, and we'd kind of go around the Ute tire, and then back around the next one because the track was so bad.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm not saying I'm God's gift to earth by any means in driving, but for some reason I have somewhat avoided tires. Well, I was pushing my luck here Saturday.
Yeah, because
They
have an infield berm here, but then they have tires that like stick out from it.
They're
3
buried in the
different
berm but
points.
stick out of the track at the same
Right.
time. I don't know. That's something I've gotten away with.
No, it's impressive. I think there
Probably
is,
because
like,
I'm missing my line. I'm not running the bottom good enough.
There's
I'm way off the fucking tire.
Well, there's a sixth sense that you kind of have to have. Like, you don't know when you set for the corner where your right rear is. You just have a feel for it. So maybe you
And you
just
kind of
have a-
hope it's in the right spot.
Yeah, and maybe you just have a good feel of an understanding where your car is and where the stuff you see, and because with the wing racing, like everything, especially in Placerville, you set for the corner, that wing's blocking you. You have no idea what's going on.
Can't see nothing.
You dive under somebody, and it's like, I can't see him. Oh, I'm past. Sometimes, like, I get scared. I'm like, oh, they must be spinning
They
out.
get sideways and you can't see them.
Right. So you run into them, or like me, I'm like, oh, they're spinning out. I'll back up, and they're 20 yards past me at that point because like I hit the brakes thinking they were spinning out.
One view is I think they're spinning, and then the next view is they're 20 fucking yards ahead of you, and you're like, oh shit.
I guess that didn't work.
So okay, I'm gonna teach you how to avoid the drain. I don't know if it's really an issue anymore with the
No.
plate, so we can kind of run up on the plate. But it used to be kind of a concrete booby trap, and so yeah, I would get in there, and if I thought, oh shit, my tire's gonna hit that grate, I would lift my left butt cheek up and punch the throttle just to hike the left front up.
Okay.
It must have worked.
Good
It
to
doesn't
know.
sound like it should, but
Good to know.
Jimmy
This
Truly used to run it all the time, run it over all the time and flatten his tire.
This man's a genius.
Next question.
There was one I passed. If you've ever raced Grass Valley or Baylands, you've raced Grass Valley,
Baylands was closed
but
before I
Baylands
got
was closed
going.
before you. Sean didn't race either.
My dad raced Grass Valley in a stock car.
Oh, this is great.
Will Andy ever snap Ed's whiteboard over his knee again at Chico before he retires?
That's at my dad's house.
Right, I saw that picture.
Okay.
I was on
Good
that
stuff.
group text.
No, because I'm older and mature, and he doesn't have a chalkboard anymore.
I miss the chalkboards.
Sometimes we still need the chalkboard. The
Even with the
chalkboard
receivers.
was for lining us up before we had radio communications, but now I feel like there's still times where we need the chalkboard because two things. Sometimes our receivers don't work, and sometimes drivers are jerks and they don't listen to the receiver.
That's her text message?
I will say that Ed did deserve to have his
Stop it,
chalkboard
Amy.
broke that night.
It's Kelly. Oh,
Kelly, knock
that
it
one
off.
was
Put a pillow
Andy.
over it.
Someone said, who whines more? I'm assuming out of the two of you, definitely Andy. That's not even a question.
I
Have you
wouldn't
watched
say-
any of our shows?
I wouldn't call it whining. I call it voicing common sense. This guy won't. He doesn't have anything negative to say about anything.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Well,
But I demand perfection.
I'm all in my head anyway, so I'm complaining to myself.
Like, what was that show? Herman Said. Did you ever watch this show?
No.
In Herman Said, yeah. It was all about this guy, and he had all these people in his head that was
Yeah.
pulling him in a different direction.
Trophy Cup trivia. Where did Andy start at the 2002 Trophy Cup at Kings?
I knew it was at Kings when he said 2002. Where'd I start? I don't remember. I feel like it rubbered up that race.
That
So-
you mean?
Yeah.
That was a 410. Was
No,
it 410?
it was
No,
360.
it was
Trophy
410 at
Cup's
San Jose,
been-
right?
Yeah, I think Trophy Cup might have been 360s at San Jose at the end. Also, oh yeah, it definitely was. I was at the last one at San Jose in '99. It was definitely a 360 show. Where did I start? Let us know.
Do
I don't
you
think
know?
it was in the front row. I don't think I've ever been in the front row of a Trophy Cup.
Hey, Sean, why'd you get rid of the mustache and the long hair? Let me answer that question.
No, he's not asking you. He's asking Sean.
Yeah, I'll let you answer. I want to hear your answer.
Because he was going to be single or he was going to stay
Oh.
married?
So, I think he looked pretty good looking with his mustache.
Yeah, every guy thought he looked really good.
I heard it from girls too.
Oh, not from me. Not from
my
this one.
wife. Do enjoy kissing my wife though, and she
I
wasn't
do,
having
too.
it with the
Yes,
mustache.
I do too.
Yeah, she's a good kisser.
You've never kissed me.
We
you wanna
have
get the
photos. Why did
That's
you even
true.
say that?
She kissed me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember this. Keith Ophel, do you guys work?
We're
Sean
professional
worked
race
all
car drivers.
freaking
What are you
day
talking about,
today.
Keith?
I did
Sean
work
worked like
today.
9 hours today in the motorhome.
Yeah.
Building parking lots that are going to piss everybody off
It
in
wasn't
a
a
year.
parking lot. There was no parking involved with what I did today.
What
did
were
you
you
do
working
today?
on today?
There's a Sacramento Bee, like
The newspaper?
yeah, they're obviously I don't think around anymore, but like whatever buildings they had, like essentially 2 blocks where their offices were, and they're gonna be an apartment complex.
Wow,
maybe,
no kidding.
something like that. So
Man, the newspaper industry definitely took a turn here in the last 20 years, I guess.
no kidding. Yeah, racing wheels. No
Oh
longer.
man, Racing Wheels was the best, and Speed Sport.
Uh-oh, Carly Montgomery. Have either of you ever wrecked anyone for a win?
Not me.
Yes. Well, people have crashed, and I have won.
Who'd you crash?
Well,
Was it
You?
me? No. He wasn't. That wasn't for the win.
no, and I got second, and her son won that night.
I did spin out. I think I've talked about this before. I did accidentally spin out. Well, I mean, both of us would say accidentally. I accidentally spun Jimmy Truly out at the Forney.
Gentleman.
That probably
didn't
got
realize it was the
boos from the
40.
crowd.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
and the
God,
crowd
no.
went crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think Jimmy's crew would admit to this. Jimmy takes a pretty wide entry when he's running the bottom, so there's a timing thing if you're trying to drive around him. So I just misjudged the timing and just barely tapped his rear nerve bar, spun him out. Crowd goes crazy. And this is when the crowd really didn't like me because I was winning all the time at Placerville. And then I later went on to tip over in the lead, and the crowd just went crazy again, just applauding it, thought
You
it was the
didn't
greatest
even
thing
win
ever.
the
No. This is how rambunctious the Placerville crowd used to be. This is 04, 05, 06, somewhere in that era. The crowd used to really be into this
That might
stuff.
have been one of the first.
And yeah, it was
Forneys
so
then.
it was an early Forney. Candace and her daughter, who was like 6 or 7 at the time, had to be police escorted out of the grandstands. Yeah. Rambunctious Placerville crowd. That crowd's kind of been phased out now. They're more gentlemanly now, but
Yeah, they like you all of a sudden.
they do like me because they feel bad that I'm like out there like the old man trying to
Out
cross
there,
the street.
still winning races, still winning championships.
I'm
but-
really seriously like, I don't think I've ever had any controversy passing someone for the lead and winning. Oh, Well, the TK thing at Chico was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
He ran over my right rear coming to the checker and hit the fence, and then he got mad and he drove around the track backwards and rammed me on my cooldown lap. But I don't really take credit for that. I wasn't first.
Yeah.
The track's mine.
Yeah.
Someone else remembers something, go ahead and remind me.
We got an update of where you started 4th. I'm not gonna say where you finished because I don't want to jinx you. Well, he's not running Trophy Cup, so there's. No
I don't
jinxing.
remember finishing like anything great at Hanford. I know my best finish at Trophy Cup was a prelim win and 4th in points, but that was here. So,
Were you 4th in points that weekend that you won?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a win and a 7th that equaled 4th place. Yeah, so I came from relatively the back to 7th on my final night.
That's awesome.
Just missed 3rd place in points by like 1 point to Paul. I can't remember who won it. This is in 09. Yeah.
Going back to a full invert this year.
Really?
Yay, nay. Yep,
I
24
think
car.
that's good.
You like that better than the transfer
The B main
cars?
cars are going back to the front?
Yep.
I don't have a problem with that.
No.
I mean, this whole format's wonky, so you might as well be full on 100%
There's
wonky.
like no reason if you are a transfer out of the B main to even run the A main.
From behind everybody.
From behind everybody, it's absolutely pointless. Like, it's a points-based thing, and you have the least amount of points than everybody in front of you. So, like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not gaining on anybody.
That's it. I know nothing about Trophy Cup. I don't know who's entered.
Me neither.
People keep talking about, is this guy coming? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't looked at the entry form. Are you entered?
I think
Do you
so.
assume you are?
Yeah, I brought my fire suits. I think I get a raise.
You know how loud it is outside? That's why I came inside.
Yeah, that's good.
Those guys outside are
We're
just
having
drunk
fun.
and
We're
loud.
having fun here.
How long? We have to be short tonight. Jeff Ensign wanted us to be short. He wanted us to be earlier. Sorry, Jeff.
Sorry, Jeff.
Jeff said, I got a lot of work to do tomorrow. I can't pay
We
attention
were
to you guys.
supposed
in
to
the
be
morning."
on before Monday Night Football for Jeff Ensign, the human highlight reel. He's in Indy. He has to go to bed early.
You were about going night-night even then.
I was sleeping out. Yeah, I took a nap outside while that stupid freaking football game was going on.
Who won that game?
The
Not
Bills
the Jets.
by
Oh.
3.
So I guess it wasn't the coach's fault after all.
Well, how's that a bad game if it was a 3-point game at the end of it? I
There
didn't
was
watch
like
it.
22 accepted penalties.
Oh.
One kicker missed 2 field goals, fumbles, interceptions. It was just garbage. It was just a.
It's like farming 3 times during
Horrible-
the night
horrible
and
product.
interviews and
It reminded me of a NARC Sprint Car Challenge Tour combination show. But I digress. Next question.
I think that was
That's
2
good.
years
We're good.
ago in Marysville you wrecked Jody Robinson and won, but someone did the same thing to you the next week.
I wrecked Jody Robinson at Marysville? Is that what that said?
Last
It doesn't
year.
say which one of you.
It
Oh,
wasn't me.
it wasn't.
2 years ago in Marysville. Did either of you wreck Jody Robinson? What would she have been in the 14?
No, she would have been in her dad's car.
2 years ago? No.
Okay, we say
Whoever
that you're
is.
wrong.
We say we disagree.
Andy did.
Who is this?
Eric Price.
What? Give us some. I did not win that race. I do remember me and Jody getting
She was
together.
in the 4.
Me and Jody got together at the Mel Hall race, and she was doing this diamond line and coming down the track, which is completely fine. You can do whatever you want. And I was getting here on the bottom, and it was just a matter of I had to get here before she got
Right,
here.
right.
And it was like we just met in the middle, and I think we both got a little banged up. And I remember her dad was like, "Yeah, you guys, it was just racing." So I wouldn't call it crashing. And guess what? I didn't win that night because I had to go fix a flat tire or something.
More like promoting questions. So like, and we again have all the answers, but
We have them all.
do you think 360s at the Hangtown 100 would bring more fans? It's unbelievable how small the crowd is at that race. It's so sad. It's cold.
No, we've talked about that just to help with track
Yeah,
conditions.
Yeah.
because sometimes Placerville will build up a pretty good curb, and so they do think like, oh, if we have 360s here, they'd knock the curb off. The problem is, it's a national USAC race. We should not have to bring in a support division. So I think that's the mindset I would have. Would it bring in more fans? if we're trying to bring in more fans and it takes Wing sprint cars, let's just have a sprint car race in November and fuck the midgets.
Probably cheaper for the promoters to just have a
I mean,
360
the
show.
only reason that race brings any crowd in at all is because that they bring in Larson or Chase Elliott. Other than that, Californians barely care about Wing sprint cars, let alone midgets.
Yeah.
They just, nobody wants to go out in the cold.
And yeah, gosh, the
That's like
weather's
the next comment. It's cold in the Hangtown 100.
So cold.
Californians, we got high expectations. We need an indoor
And low
grandstand.
tolerances.
Yes. The rednecks in Indy, they'll sit in the cold, in the rain. And they'll go, if it's raining, they'll go sit in their car for 4 hours and wait for it to quit raining.
It
and then
doesn't
come
rain
back.
that long though. Like Julie sends us pictures all the time, and she's getting dumped on, and she's like 20 minutes later, the sun's out, and we're racing, like we're good to go. So it's just different weather patterns there.
If you're in California, you look out the window and it looks like it's raining, it might rain, you ain't going to the races.
Favorite track and why?
Whatever one I won at last.
That's not-
Petaluma.
Would Marysville be your favorite track? Right now. Like,
Petaluma and Marysville, yeah.
Petaluma, even...
The
after,
last
like, the
2 years of
conditions that
Petaluma?
you've been enjoying?
I mean, man,
You're
that-
talking Petaluma
the
years
Adobe
ago.
Cup, that filled my
Trophy.
it filled my glass of like positivity. That was just a fun night for me.
It sucked for everyone.
It was so fun.
What was it?
God, it was so muddy and it was just so fun.
No,
and there was
like-
no dust. It was great.
You know what? Like, I get excited about? Like, the national race was awesome.
National race.
Like ASCS national race that you won.
Oh.
That was an awesome race.
I won that too.
Yeah.
It was great.
But that was a good race.
Yeah, it
like,
was.
and the track was great. Crowd was great. Like, everything about that was great.
You're right, but we were going pretty fast that night.
Yeah.
So what I enjoyed about the night I'm talking about is we weren't at max velocity.
This is an old person Andy thing that's like, we're nice and slow. It's all slow.
It wasn't that slow,
it was
but
way slow.
That's everybody's complaint about Petaluma. Is it's too fast, it's too locked down. Okay, he gave us a service.
Is that a complaint? That it's too fast? I've never
Yes.
heard that complaint.
Oh, it's too fast, so you can't pass. Everybody's going the same speed. So basically, what we got at Petaluma was a dry, slick speed, but no dust. Everybody wins. I hate dust. I mean, I'm just tired of dust. I'm tired of dust in the pits. I'm tired of dust on the surface, on the racetrack. I'm just
You
who
should
likes dust?
Go race
This
a
guy's
pavement car.
dirt racer.
Yeah.
Go race a pavement car.
Right.
Pavement racing is nice. When I did a minor amount of pavement racing. It wasn't fun, but the cleanliness was nice. I heard it. Oh yeah, Jamie McMurray was on Dale Jr. and they were talking about him racing his go-karts. And I think Junior asked him about, do you ever race on dirt? And Jamie was like, no way. I have to, and it's too dirty. I gotta be on the pavement. It's gotta be clean.
Jeez.
Baby.
Sounds like a little soul twin of yours or something.
Except I do race.
Germaphobe.
More calls for you to run an outlaw cart.
Man, no. There's that one guy I did see at Grass Valley that had suspension
If
on his
you
cart.
would have fit in Vincent's car, that would have been a perfect time for you to.
Just go out and try.
Yeah, it wasn't hoppy. It would have been perfect. Would you have done it if you could have fit?
I would take laps at Cycleland just for the hell of it, just
Yeah.
to show you how fast I could go. And then be like, done.
Would you gas it up like Vincent did?
Yeah.
How fast
He
do
was
you
on
think
the
you could
throttle.
go? You think you would just be fine? Like you'd go out there and you'd be
I would
good?
let him go out and show me what to do, and then I'd go out after him, and I'd turn a faster lap than him.
All right, we're bringing 2 cars out on a Sunday play day.
I
you
don't
just
fit in-
agreed to it.
I don't fit in his cart, though.
No, you'll fit in Daniel's.
You would.
I can't be slopping around your big old seat.
We'll put towels in there.
Yeah, that's the cushion that we have for the go-karts is towels. We duct tape them so they won't
Yeah.
slide around.
Next question.
I think that's it.
It's
That's it.
bedtime.
It's
Next
bedtime.
session is bedtime.
All right.
Sorry we took
Ooh, a
so
cage
long,
clone. That would be great.
Yeah.
If I'm going to run a cage clone, I want the one with the cheater motor. I hear all about these
I-
cheater motors.
Mad Dog probably has plenty of those. Cheater.
Is that
motors.
Mad Dog telling me to run cage clone?
No.
Cage cart? Whatever they're called?
No.
Yep, we were talking to Grasty's dad at Petaluma 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about Red Bluff and Cycleland and cage clone carts, and I said, yeah, what about the cheater motor that you can get? And they both kind of laughed. They're like, yeah, there's a few of those out there. You just got to spend a few grand. And what is the rule on the cage clone cart?
It's a funny program. Like if you're in the lead, you cannot run the bottom.
Okay.
So, like, those guys do actually go back and forth and slide, like, back and forth.
So there's an orchestrated race.
Until the last lap. On the last lap, the leader can go wherever they want. But the bottom is always the preferred line. So the leader cannot run the bottom until the very last lap. So you want to be in second on the second to last lap.
Okay.
So that you can slide them, because they have to run, come into the checkered, or come into the white flag, and then you can dive underneath them.
Then you just get to the bottom on the last lap.
Yep.
Elijah wins all those races, so he must have that figured out.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got it figured out, but cool. They did the
Showcase.
showcase race,
Yeah.
and like Tyler Courtney was out there, and Colby Copeland, and like they figured it out really quick. And
Really?
like it didn't matter that they had to run the middle line, like they were just keeping up their momentum and like killed everybody. So it can be done, but I don't know.
They were probably in cheater motor carts too then.
It's very possible. But
See, that goes. So once one guy gets the cheater motor,
Yeah, this goes
then
back to all the
everybody's
racing that
gonna
we
get
talk
the
about.
cheater motor, and then everybody's just raised the cost of their motor program, and then they're all going the same speed. They're all going 3 miles an hour faster than they were last year. So someone's gonna have to come up with a cheater motor.
well, I just like the way how to police that has evolved, because like when I was first got into the IMCA modifieds, you would get I think it was either top 3 or top 5, and you'd have to pull into the infield, and somebody
remember
could
that.
protest,
Claim
your motor for like $1,500, and if you refused, like you had to pay them $1,500, or it was something weird. It was like that was to keep the cost down of your motor, however much it costs to build. But somebody's gonna have $1,500 and say, nope, I want your motor. I think your motor's faster than my motor. So
what happens?
take
They
your
just
motor.
take your motor?
I think they would you would get your carburetor, your top end. But so basically, this rule is designed to scare you from building a super expensive
Right.
motor, because you could build this $1 million motor, and then next week Sean Becker could claim your motor for $1,500.
Right,
It's
right.
really a good, interesting rule, but the claim rules always go away. So I think it causes too much.
Oh, for sure.
'Cause-
there was fights.
Yeah, I'm not giving him my motor.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
yeah.
I'm not coming back. And then.
Yep.
Then they leave for a year, and then they say, okay, Larry can come back and race again.
Yeah.
They used to have literally stock car divisions that were called claimers. Like the entire car could be claimed.
Yeah.
So they also could claim shocks on the modifieds at one point, I think.
So what do? You like trade?
Yeah, you would give them.
Oh, I'm like, so what do? You like show up and you're like, I'm going home without a car because they claimed
No.
my car.
You would get. I would get Sean's motor. He would get my motor, and I think he would get the $1,500. So yeah.
Do you get it back? Like, or they?
No, so one of my grandmother's neighbor, it was Bill Portery. I used to go to the races with him sometimes. He had a modified, and there was this one guy that was winning. This is in the early 90s, so way before your time. And he's like, I'm going to claim that guy's motor. And he finally was able to be in the top 5. You have to be in the top 5. And he claimed this guy's motor, and he got this guy's motor, and it was a piece of shit. And it was, yeah. This guy had a shit motor, and he was kicking ass, and he made it work. And Bill thought this guy had a freaking super duper race engine, and it was not a real good piece. So kind of the joke was on Bill.
I feel like that is like notorious for everybody. The grass is greener on the other side. If I had that guy's equipment, like Red Bluff in the 125, so back in way before your time in the early 90s when I raced there, like 125 class basically had a claim rule too. They were talking about it, and like these guys that like weren't very good knew if I had the point leader's motor, there's no way anybody would be able to beat me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like everybody feels that way.
Yeah.
Like people take away talent, and like, do you guys feel that way sometimes? Like, it's all motor.
I mean, there's some cars out there that you watch and you're like, holy shit,
Yeah, like
that thing rips.
yeah, and
But do you take
know
away their
these-
talent and like they're not good? They just have a good motor, so
there's
that's the only
there's
reason they're.
sometimes you can see during a race like this person doesn't know how to pass anybody, but they're setting quick time.
They're 3/10
a
faster
lot.
than
like
the field every night.
that happens on not. It doesn't happen all the time, but on rare occasions that happens. So like I think you can see talent out there, but then you also like there's a reason why somebody is qualifying quick time in their group like 50% of the shows that they run. Like
Which is why we should go back to the old Civil War format where you invert 6. So if they're
Ooh, baby.
fast at qualifying but not good,
nobody
it's just
would show
motor.
up. Nobody would show up.
People would still show up.
To go
Half the
back
field.
to us promoting, if we promoted Cycleland, what if we owned all the clone motors? How much aren't those like Harbor Freight motors? Where do you get those motors?
Yeah, I think so, but like Red Bluff tried to do that with the box stock class.
Oh yeah.
They own the motors.
They
They
had
tried,
all the motors, and you would show up and pull the pill
Okay.
and say,
I
"Oh,
like
this
this.
one's my motor,"
I like
and then
it
you
so
would
far.
take it and then have to put it on, and you like couldn't really do anything. And
Perfect. That's the name of the game.
like, if you're the point leader, and then all of a sudden like this motor doesn't run in qualifying, and we have no hot laps to help figure it out or set it up, like.
So
can
was
ruin
there
your whole
issues with the
season.
motors not running?
Sometimes, like, well,
Hmm.
but I do think a lot of people weren't supposed to be messing with carburetors or whatever that they could for the fuel system or something. And there's always like,
It's
"No,
like-
you can tweak this here." Yeah.
Do you guys make tweaks to like a sprint car motor? Like the sprint car motor gets back to you after a freshen or something. Do you like tear stuff apart and like change things? Like, is there anything you can do to a sprint car motor to do that? I have no idea.
Well, we don't change anything once the motor builder gives it back to us. But yeah, I mean, we're constantly tuning on the fuel system and triple checking and checking bypasses and fuel settings. But I mean, our motors are so cheated up as it is. Not cheated up, but I mean, we're getting so much power out of these motors now. I don't know. There is no cheating in 360s and
Right.
410s. I mean, they
And-
hit and
There's no team out there that is gonna send their motor to top dog manufacturer and bring it back and say, "I know how to make this better."
yeah.
Right.
Like,
But like, well, and the only reason I ask that question, like Grandpa says all the time, he gets so frustrated because he builds a motor for someone, and then he'll give it back to him, and then they'll come over running it the first time, like, "Grandpa, the motor's not running." He's like, "Yeah, you changed a bunch of stuff on it. Like, I gave it back to you, and then you put a different carburetor on, and you did this, and you did this, and like, yeah, of course it doesn't run. I don't know what to tell you." So like, I didn't know if there's parts you put on like
not
after
for
you get it
sprint
back.
cars, I don't think
Not for the sprint
that's-
cars.
no.
It would be a very stressful job to be a motor builder because we do screw with our shit. And then we call the motor builder and go like, the motor doesn't take off, it stumbles, this is that. It blew up.
It blows my mind, like, whenever, like, our team or whatever is, like, on the phone with the motor guy, like, "Hey, my motor's stumbling." Like, I'm in Ohio. What do you, I don't know. Like, what's the weather over there? Like, what was the fuel sheet say? Like, what do you have? Like, they expect to get an answer from the motor builder when they're halfway across the country.
It's really frustrating too because the better our motors have started running now, the more important the tuning is. And if the air is bad, the climate's wrong, our motors will run like shit, and I'm the worst at it. I bitch and moan and complain like this motherfucking thing ain't running.
Did you ever complain to the Family Auto Service?
No, Flory shit always ripped.
Even whenever he was smoking right
Oh my God,
before
that was
the
so
AMA
scary.
with changing the pill and everything.
So scary.
Flory, the Family Auto Service 98X motors ripped, and the
Yeah.
funny thing about those motors is they were old motors, old technology, and everybody in the pits knew what they were and were amazed on how fast I was in that car, but they did not realize how well those motors ran.
Yeah.
They thought I was God's gift to Earth because I was running these old shitty
Yeah,
motors, but
obviously
they
ain't
fucking
true.
ripped. You liked them.
Yeah, they were fast.
The car sucked
The
ass.
car sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy looked like God's gift, and then they said, Sean, like Andy doesn't want to run too often anymore. You want to come
I don't want to drive the hammer.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'll go race. And I sucked. I'm like, God, Andy must really be good. And then he got back in the car and ruined Darren Pittman's race in Calistoga. Gonna go a lap down and took out the leader. Is
Jim
that
Van
what
Leer just
happened?
texted me. He says, I do have a cheater motor.
You probably do.
I do. 383, baby. So yeah, this is when they used to make you line up a lap down in your position. So I was
I
in
like it.
second place. I think I was in second place at an outlaw show at Calistoga, but I was a lap down. I can't remember who was leading, and Pittman was behind me in third. And the track was just shitty. You didn't want to get out of the groove. It was starting to rubber up. And I knew I needed to get out of the way. So I just got a little bit out of the groove to let Darren by. And as soon as I did that, I just did a half spin. And he ran into me. And oh, he was pissed. And I was pissed and embarrassed. And trust me, I did not want to be up there. I know I was getting lapped for a reason. I was slow and out of the fucking... I should have been off the track. Ugh.
I like leaving lap cars where they are.
I kind of do too, but there's no consistency to it because sometimes people would start a lap down. Sometimes they'd tag the back. You had no way of making them do one or the other. So I like the rule where you just go to the back. It's the same every time.
Yeah.
The only so I like lap cars when you're the leader, right?
Well, sure. If
But-
I passed 5 lap cars and I got you in second and there's 5 lap cars between me, hell yeah, I want them in between me and the second place car.
So I hate like a lap
Right.
car and then go to the back and it's like, no, I have to catch them again in 2 laps. Like I just passed
So,
them.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like back when I kind of first started racing, like that was a big debate. Like, what are you doing with lap cars? We're leaving them in the spot. And then Jimmy Sills was at one of the drivers' meetings. All, hey, if the leader had to pass him, second place should have to pass him too.
I
So
agree.
That's
it makes
true.
it makes total sense.
Yep.
So like, as a driver, like, and somebody who would be in the lead, a lot of the time back then, like, you wanted the lappers in there, but now we've just gotten accustomed to throwing everybody in the back. And as a race fan, you don't want any lappers in there. Get them the hell out of there. The race is over. You know, like once you go a lap down, you feel like your race is over.
It's
Get them to the back. Yeah, it sucks. Get them to the back. So, Red Bluff, we just had, they have their West Coast Nationals at the end of the year. It's in March. My nephew Blake, he went a lap down, like, fairly early in the race. And then they do double file restarts.
And they leave the lap cars in.
Well, they gave him the option. They said, "Hey, you're a lap down. You can go the back, or you can stay in your spot." So he stayed in his spot, and he's now second place, trying to get his lap back. And he was.
Oh, man, you want to piss off a leader, race him a lap
He
down.
pissed off a lot of people doing that, and like, I understand where he's coming from, like, but you're. You're not going to restart in the preferred line, so you're not going to get him on the restart. And do you really think you're going to be fast enough to pass the guy who was just leading, that just lapped you lap before? Like, it was just a bad situation. Like, put him to the back. Just put him to the back. Let's not have this awkward feeling. Like, it's just not good.
You know what
Put
else
him in the back.
was funny too about leading a race back in the day? When you knew you had lap cars in between you and
Yeah.
second, but you didn't know if they started behind you on the restart.
yeah.
So you never knew how hard to drive it into turn
Right.
1 because, you know, if you know you got 2 or 3 lappers in there, you can kind of cruise through there. But now all of a sudden, if the real second place car is on your ass, you better hog her in there. But you never knew. So then you were kind of counting. My crew,
Yeah.
we had signals, like they would tell me, you know, like 2 or 1 or 0 to where I would like know how hard to try. But that was always a guessing game too. I like it now that they just put them to the back.
Yeah.
It's just easier.
So one time.
We need all the help we can get to make these shows easier. Don't get me started on making these shows more efficient.
Like, I know you told the story of Tim taking you out after the race, and I know you've had issues with the Cadians in the past, but like, I've always like,
Me and Brent sit together now up there in Trophy.
I
Cup.
know,
Every year
I
we
know,
sit
it's
together.
cool.
Yeah.
but like, Tim, like I always kind of like when I first got in the sprint cars, I looked up to you, looked up to TK, and in 05, I was in the 10 car. We were at Outlaw Race at Tulare. I go a lap down by Tim, and the yellow comes out, so I'm in second. So I want to, and he always treated me with a ton of respect, like, and I looked up to him, so I wanted to let him know, like, hey, I'm back here. And he, like, wouldn't let me go all the way beside him. He would kind of, like, and he finally gave me a thumbs up, like, hey, I know you're there. Like, I got it. And I'm not the guy who's going to, like, block second place. Like, I moved my line out of the way, but just to let him know, hey, you got a lapper here. Like, you got some grace period, basically. But I'm going to
You're
hold my
blocking for
line.
Oh, that was nice of you.
No.
I hope you were in second for that race.
An outlaw
Or
show
an
player? No.
In 05? Were you even
I
there?
ran an outlaw show here with the Family Auto Service, and I broke a right rear qualifying going into turn 1. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was a good one. Darn wheel broke. Here comes Mia. All right. If we have any other good questions, we'll answer. If they're all dumb, we're
There's
not
no good
answering.
questions, but like what's
There's
been
no good
awesome
questions.
about today was like
Come here.
I was working in the motorhome.
Oh yeah, answer
So-
Keith O'Field's question. You work.
I did, yeah,
I don't.
and I was working today.
I'm a
He doesn't.
professional racer driver. I get 100% of the winnings, 100% of the sponsorship, 100% of everything.
But
Made about $3
Lisa
million
will
bucks
know.
this
I don't
year.
know how he was like earlier in the day, but like I finally come out after work. It was like 4:30 or 5 or whatever, and this guy was just like nodding off and taking a nap. Like they were watching pregame for Monday Night Football, and just this whole time. But
I get more tired doing nothing
He
than
was
if I was working.
he was excited about drinking after dinner. Like, I'll drink after dinner. I just need to get food in me, and then I'll drink, and we'll have fun. And he's been like falling asleep this whole time. But
Not
then
in me.
we get in here and we start talking about racing, and
I get
it
excited when I
perks
talk
you
about
up.
myself.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's not even racing. It's just talking about
Yeah.
yourself.
Perks me right up.
All right. So that's the trick. Andy's got to talk about himself.
I don't want to listen to you talk about yourself that much, though. So we'll just deal with you being tired and in a bad mood.
Okay.
All right.
What are we talking about tomorrow? We've talked about it all.
We talked about it all, so we don't
No,
need
we
to talk
ran
tomorrow.
out.
You know, let's get my number one fan, Patsy, on here. Patsy comes to Trophy Cup. Let's see if we can get Patsy on.
We should drive around camp tomorrow. Remember when we did the drive around at Gold Cup to like check everything out? We should drive around and just kind of check out. We'll do like a
There's
drive
not enough
through.
people here yet.
Yeah.
Hey, you.
When
come
I
here.
left here earlier to go to the store, I've never really driven around this place to see where people camp, and it's like there's a parking lot
yeah.
over there and there's spots laid out, and I'm like, God, we're so lucky. There's people that just have to pull onto concrete over there, and
Well, and out there, it's just dirt,
yeah,
no power, and they've got a huge construction generator that everybody plugs into, like a huge diesel,
Oh,
like the
God.
size of a Suburban.
yeah.
A generator the size of your car.
Was it Trophy Cup when my parents had their motorhome and like my
We had to
uncle
park like
did
right
fish
at the
tacos?
end of the like
Was it
whatever
Trophy Cup,
covered
though?
area, I think so, and
we
like
just pulled into some
We just
random
pulled in
spot
random.
and like
they're like, yeah, go find a spot because we got here Thursday.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
we
know.
didn't.
120 volt plug in. Like
Yeah.
that's all we had.
Play that
or-
game anymore. Everything's labeled out. I
Yeah.
want to say there's over 300 stalls here for.
Oh
our
my
spots,
God.
yeah. And they'll sell out.
They said they were absolutely sold out.
Yeah.
Like we had to condense our spot this year because they said
And
we're at capacity. We have way too many people. You can't cheat this year.
so this goes back. We're starting to show up again, but this goes back to what Sweet says. He goes, the weekly racing is dying, which we've seen. There was not anybody here Saturday. There was nobody at Hanford.
Yeah, he has no interest.
He wants just events. He wants events where they go town to town to town, where there's 300 campers at this race and there's 300 campers at this race. Where out in California, we're grinding away every Friday and Saturday in front of 300 fans. So maybe
So
that's the way of the
should there
future.
be no more local shows? Should it just be like
Well,
traveling series?
that's the fairgrounds stipulates how many races.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fairgrounds kind of puts out there. You need to have
Scott and Kemi, I
18
think,
events here.
yeah,
So
they
then
have
they
to
have to
have
throw in the
programs.
flat track stuff. They have to throw in the monster trucks. They have to throw in like you have to hold X amount.
I bet they make good bank on that. I don't know how the motorcycles did, but I
Not
know
good.
like
Oh,
oh really? But the monster truck always kicked
but tell them
butt.
why it was bad.
So Placerville had flat track motorcycles, like a semi-pro flat track motorcycle, like one step below what Silver Dollar had
Mhm.
when they had the AMA flat track series there. but they had it on the same night as Fast Friday's season finale,
Oh.
USA versus the World. So the promoter at the Auburn Raceway brings in European motorcycle riders to race the Auburn riders. It's their finale. It's a big deal. They pack the place the same night that Placerville had their flat track race. So there's only X amount of motorcycle race fans, right, in Northern
Yeah.
California, and
It's a
probably
double book.
3,000 of them were at Auburn, right?
Yeah.
And there was only like 200 of them at
that's
Placerville.
too bad.
So yeah, I don't think Scott and Cami did well with their flat track experience.
But it could be profitable if it was scheduled better.
Possibly. I
Because
mean,
did SLC do good with theirs?
SLC had a great crowd and they still lost money.
Oh, really?
Yes. The National Series is not
Because
cheap.
of what they paid for
Yeah,
to getting them
It's a 6-figure event, and you know you're needing to sell out the place. And I think they sold like 2,800 tickets, which is 2,800 people at Chico is a good crowd.
here. Yeah.
But they still lost money. Yeah. So that AMA professional series isn't cheap. I still think they're going to do it again next year. They're going to get supposedly AMA is going to help out a little more because they want a date in California, and supposedly they like the Silver Dollar experience. So
It looked like fun
yeah, it
racing.
looked cool. I'm like, I wouldn't mind missing
I
a race.
wanted
that night.
to go. My dad definitely wanted to go.
What
He's a
did
big
it fall
motorcycle
on?
guy,
It
but
fell
it
on-
rained out. Like they had
Yeah,
to
but
push
it was the
date.
same day as something else.
We were like the Bradway or
racing somewhere.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Bradway in Placerville. Monster Trucks does good though, right? They make money for that.
Yeah, but they didn't have monster trucks this year or last year. I think their show got canceled last year, and the guy was dicking them around on a cancellation fee, and so they said,
Oh,
"Screw you, you ain't coming back next year." But I do feel like Silver Dollar will have monster trucks again this upcoming season, so the infield will be all dicked up. Whatever grass grows on the infield in March and during the winter, it'll be all tore out by May.
It really bugs you.
I
don't
love
seem to
grass
care.
infields.
it does look really pretty. Like
It's
just
fine if it looks good.
being
but-
years in
man,
the booth, like
Watsonville-
going up there, and it's like, oh, it looks so good. Look at all the
Watsonville used to be
grass and-
so nice when the infield was grass. Now it's just a dirt shithole like the rest of the tracks we race at.
Nobody has grass in their infield.
Not out here. Sucks. You know, Placerville had a grass infield one year. It was so nice.
1 year.
1 year. And
Yeah, but now you guys qualify and
died.
everything from down there.
we did done.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You ran on top of the grass and it stayed nice. Or that's
Filibuster. I'll find a video of it.
I don't feel like it.
Give me.
Had to have lasted.
Yeah,
It lasted-
There ain't no way.
It did. It lasted
If
the
you-
whole season.
If you qualified from the infield and all the cars.
There's
on
no way
there
all
and
those
stuff,
cars are running flat on top of
this
grass
guy
and then
doesn't
it's
know what
still.
he's talking about. Somebody did tell me I need to question because I'm always in awe of this man's encyclopedic mind of all these
Don't
racing.
question me. I know it all.
No, like somebody said, like he can't know that stuff. You should like call
I
him
do.
on it. Like, so the next time I don't have my phone on me, but next time I'm gonna have my phone on me, and anytime you impress me with your racing knowledge, I'm gonna Google. Absolutely not, Andy. Like that didn't make sense at all.
No, I'm always right when it comes to stats. Like that guy questioned me. He's like, "Oh, you crashed Jody Robinson." I knew he was wrong. I knew he was wrong from the get-go.
But you did get into
But you
her.
did.
Yeah, but it was a racing deal. Her dad said it was a racing deal.
So, well,
Yeah, as a fan watching it. Like, Patsy says you wreck everybody.
Yeah, she's a hoot.
So she's not right.
You know
'cause-
when you're trying to find a picture, you
but
can
the
never find
question,
You're
it.
never gonna find
but
it.
the question of like, did you take anybody out to win? It's like, what does that mean? Like, I've gotten together with people going for wins, but like, are you saying did I purposely wreck somebody to win? Like,
I feel like neither of you have ever done that. Like, it wouldn't be in you guys
Okay,
to purposely
you know
wreck
what?
someone to win.
I will. As I think about it some more. The first time I ever drove for the Family Auto Service, so I was going to drive for them in 03, and there was the end of the year race at Bakersfield and Tulare in 02, Thanksgiving weekend. So they said, well, we'll put you in the car for those races, you know, get a head start for 03. Sounds great. So I'm at Bakersfield, and I ain't even going to make it out of the out of the B. And I'm like, oh man, these guys, they're going to fire me before I even race for them. So I did intentionally spin out the guy in 4th place to transfer in to the A.
Who was it?
It was a guy out of Washington. And then I went and gave him some bullshit excuse that it was my first time in the car and I didn't fit in it right and my foot fucking slipped off the brake pedal. That was a
Hey,
lie.
at least you went and talked to him.
It was a lie. I just dumped him because I wanted to make the feature.
So,
But as far as like just doing some of the stuff, like where we see some people now, just fucking send it
Yeah.
and see if this works. I have never done anything like
So,
that.
in the open class at Red Bluff, like, it's always hard to make main events there. I was in a B main. I've been in the opens for a handful of years already. Like, not necessarily a veteran, but still. And I had my good group of friends. One of my best friends, Brandon Martinovich, was in 4th in the B, and I'm 5th. And I'm watching him, and he kind of didn't drive like Jimmy Truly, but he would like set his car high, and he always would like hit the brake to set the car, so it would twitch, and he would dive down
And
to the
stop
bottom.
in front of you for just a split second.
Well, and he did. It's all race long. I'm just seeing this happen. So there's like an opening, but I know there's not an opening. And then we get the white flag, and I'm like,
Boom! I knew if I looked long enough. Look at that infield. No, that's not a great shot yet.
Look.
Look at that. It's grass.
What's January? Oh, that's when you took this
Yeah.
video. But how long did that stay? Is my point. Like that probably happened.
It
That was
stayed
probably
all year.
No, that was probably the first weekend.
Hey,
of it.
don't question me. I have it here.
Fake news. We said it did not stay
It
all
didn't
year.
last
No,
the
it
whole
didn't.
year.
Look at how green it is.
Yeah,
So
that's
you're showing
pretty.
January. Find a
No,
video
I
of
took the video of the video in January. We're not racing at Placerville in January. God. Oh, it's June 22nd. It says right there. So that's how good it looked in June.
Yeah, that's.
Look, we're pitting on the infield.
Why'd you take a right there?
Pitting
Where are
on
you
the
going?
bottom.
Where are you going? Where
Here,
the
we should
water
show this.
truck
Let's
is?
see if we can show this. Hold on. This is something cool. You gotta see. Let's see. Play. Let's see. Placerville had grass.
It's gonna-
Oh, crud. You're stupid. Turn your light off.
It's gonna show it backwards.
Is it?
Yeah, why are you turning right on the track?
There we go. So that's June 22nd, 1996. You can't, I don't know if you can tell if it's green grass or not, but the most exciting part is where we're pitting. People don't remember this. If the volume was on, it would be saying, quick time, no scoreboard. So right now you slow down and you look to your left to see if the crowd's responding. That's how you knew if you had a good lap. Because there was no scoreboard. And then that's where we used to pit. Back in the day. Yeah.
Old school Placerville posse right there.
Not too many people still around that used to pit down the bottom.
Alright, it's
So-
bedtime.
If I had my glasses on, I would have found that a little faster.
That was great.
Don't question me. Who's your friend that said question me? He's an idiot. I don't know what my
I wonder
IQ
if it
is.
was Tom
I've never
Petty.
took an IQ test. I don't imagine my IQ is super high. But when it comes to race stuff, it's
Steel
genius.
trap.
It's genius level.
You always say stupid knowledge. You have a bunch of stupid knowledge in there, like stuff that
You know,
doesn't
like
matter.
all these people that win game shows for like Pyramid or whatever. They have all these just random facts, and like they're great at Trivial Pursuit or whatever. Like,
Oh, you have to be too smart for that game. I'm not good at that game.
but yours only applies to racing.
Yeah.
It's just
If there was a Jeopardy based off of Northern California racing, I'd probably win it. But
right.
Yeah, you should do that.
okay, that's
Alright.
enough. We went past our half-hour mark again.
Dang it.
Night.
Failed.